Alright, then, welcome to chapter 4
What?
of...
That's illegal, Jackalore.
Okay, fuck with my roll, why don't you? Welcome to chapter 4 of Arc 3, Demi.
Yes.
Last couple of days, Benjamin has been busy only popping into Elysium now and again.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's like Jackalore, that one guy
Demi,
who
please, you don't need to comment on it.
always...
You're making it twice as bad that he's doing this.
Twice the fall.
So Benjamin,
Anyways.
for the last couple of days, I think it's been nearly a week in this arc, has been working hard to trade favors and work through contacts to track down info on the mage.
That is correct.
Okay, so a lot of the traveling you have done on the DL due to being a
Obvious
man
reasons.
of culture and a gentleman. So your contacts are actually willing to, taking a few precautions, take your word for you promising not to frenzy and bite their throats out. Also the fact that you can't move for shit, so they'll just sort of don't come near me, mage.
I don't believe there would be, hopefully, anything that would, sort of make me frenzy. So, hopefully not.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the obvious deal is don't frenzy.
So we're gonna start with. Let's start with a etiquette roll.
Okay.
Charisma etiquette. The base is gonna be 7, reduced by your merits, and
Yep, so
your
that just
goal
goes
is
to 5.
gonna function as an assist. Because I'm assuming you're taking your butler with you.
Um, if it would be, I mean, depends on the way of travel. Like,
Your
if it just like
nobility, so it's acceptable for you to bring a servant of your own along.
got it then. But then yes. So charisma etiquette, difficulty 5. And what does the ghoul roll for? Is the ghoul supposed to roll for himself or?
Yeah, he's gonna function as an assist for you, and he's gonna spend willpower to not disappoint you again.
Yeah. I think I'd spend a willpower too, because this could be, of course, critical information. So I want to get as much as I can out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, damn. That should be high
Fuck.
society and a graceful and willpower. So that should be 3 successes, I think.
Yes, those would apply, and the ghoul gives you another 3. So you are at 6. So, actually, about midway through the week, you're introduced at court.
Damn.
And,
This is for the Sealies that are like outside of the city, right?
yes.
Yeah.
The impression you get is that they don't really come into Bonton or New Orleans unless they have to, because those places are considered to be bad news. New Orleans a little less so, since you guys took over, namely the Camarilla.
Yeah.
But they're both kind of seen as, there's
Let's
bad
not.
things there, it's dangerous, don't unless you take a lot of, firepower with you.
Understandable.
Okay. And, well, how about this? You can ask me 3 questions that would be sort of general knowledge from their point of view, and I can give you some general information about how they view this state and this general area, essentially. This,
These 3 questions should be about New Orleans, not actually anything related to the mage, right?
yeah,
Or
this is, about Louisiana in general. I don't remember what the Changeling Kingdom was called that's located here, but essentially this general area. Their domain, what they consider their holdings.
fair enough. Um, huh. Out of the blue, 3 questions. That's a bit rough. Um, well, I suppose a really good question is, besides the obvious, such as who's basically, the vampires and the werewolves and the unseelie. Sort of see about are any of them maybe aware of any other threats in like the state of Louisiana?
So just in a general idea of threats, yeah. Bon Tom apparently has a werewolf problem.
Um, I'm not sure if this would be a continuation of a second question, but is basically through a talk. Would that werewolf problem be essentially due a separate one, or is it kind of with the Crusade like passing through?
Okay, if you're willing to spend 2 questions on it, I can give you more information.
Sure, give it to me. Knowing
Okay,
anything about the
so
werewolf threat in
essentially,
the
yeah,
nearby is good.
chatting about that, they have been there for decades, since the Sabbat ran the city. And no, they're not aligned with most werewolves. Uh, there's actually a tribe of werewolves that is friendly, and apparently most werewolf tribes hate those fucks too. They're apparently the really bad. They're like the ginger stepchildren of werewolves that do a lot of fucked up shit, and they hold the state capital. They consider it theirs. They try to keep other supernaturals out.
Hmm, interesting. And I suppose then for a last question would be sort of another assessment of sort sense of threat is that since I'm aware of the unseelies in this place, and I do believe I had the information as well from the contact that they're not in great numbers. Did they possibly have heard of anything about them trying to regain a sense of power? Like, are they trying to, stay on the down low, or are they thinking about coming back in like numbers eventually?
Um, you ask about that, but you wouldn't be able to get an answer on that. Like, your courtly etiquette senses tell you that this is a bad thing to ask
To
based
ask.
on the
Okay.
questions. Like that's like a social fail if you
Yeah.
keep pushing that one.
Social faux pas. Yeah. Fair enough. Um. What would be the other question? I suppose that might be an interesting question to ask since I'm not quite aware, and they might be more magically inclined. Um, can they tell me anything about sort of the magic in our area? Because like I think I'm aware, as most of other the people up top, that William has a node and they have a cairn, and I only think that I know that they're magical pinpoints. So essentially, I'm trying to see is like how much magical power is there? Is it like all focused on that chantry bullshit? Is the other cairns getting weaker? Essentially, that sort of deal about how magical
Just a
is our
general
area.
idea. Um, yeah, they will actually relate this with a great deal of pride that essentially this particular kingdom is rich in magical resources. But at the same time, magic is at a low ebb for, in these last few decades, it's at the lowest it's been in like a century. So, yeah, there are several nodes that are active, but you get the impression that there are a lot more that are either dormant or sleeping or have been drained. And if that should ever change, there's going to be a lot of power available, and they are. You get the impression that they're proud of what they own, but they're very careful not to give you anything specific because that shit is theirs. And if that comes alive again, they want to be the first to roll in and stake a claim.
Makes sense. But from that assumption, then I can assume that considering there's an entire werewolf crusade going on, William, most specifically, that his magical essence bullshit is really strong.
Well, yeah, it's definitely one of the strongest ones, but
Hmm.
like you can assume based on a lot of stuff, but like his node is wound in vampire magic, so it's actually very difficult to detect for outsiders unless they're near it. So they don't have specifics, and
Fair enough.
it's like, okay, I'm moving through court, I'm making casual conversation, sneaking in a question or two, that kind of thing.
Okay, then. Good to know.
Okay, then let's make a second roll. Give me
Okay.
a dexterity performance.
Okay. 4, 5, that's 9, and celerity 11. I'm presuming this is, what is this, dancing or playing music?
This would be playing music.
Okay, then I don't have to get any difficulty for my limp fucking leg.
Yeah, no,
Right?
There's like one commoner that started to ask you, and he was like, "Oh, sorry." So,
The worst problem is I can still dance, just not as easily.
yeah, no, but you know, this is proper high society, so there's like two elves going, "What did you say, you dumb fuck?"
What is the base difficulty for this?
um, Starting at 6, but you can raise it higher to play more difficult pieces. They are essentially, it's
Yeah, I
it
think
yeah
because I'm trying to leave a lasting impression and I might be able to make further contacts, a willpower, and I'll raise the base difficulty to, I suppose, an 8,
okay.
which would, I suppose, then be reduced to 6 because reasons. So,
Okay.
that should be a performance. I have classical music and dexterity as feline grace. I'm not sure if I usually play classical music,
Classical
so
music would apply, feline grace would not.
yeah, so that would be 6 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you are. You know, they have a bit of a problem, or had a bit of a problem originally, bringing in a banality ridden ancient vampire into a freehold, but you know, the king will have his amusements. You know, they're. You are actually worth bringing along. You have an open invitation to return.
I have to stop. I swear to God, out of character, I have to stop meddling with fucking other supernatural. It's gonna fucking be the bane of me.
It's gonna get you killed again.
It's so gonna get me killed. Hey, changelings are better than demons, right?
Okay. So, give me a luck roll, Demi.
Calling a 3. Damn.
Okay. Then, who would be most appropriate? Yeah, no, they wouldn't send her. That's just sending a get of Fenris into a freehold for negotiations. Like, okay, do you want war? Right, we are on. We're gonna use the Elise. No, we're gonna use this place. This is an appropriate place. Funnily enough, also has gators.
Huh, wait. Who actually drew this? That's amazing.
They're, yeah, no, at this point it's lore. They're part of the heraldry of this changeling kingdom. It's like two gators intertwined in like a yin-yang symbol, or an Ouroboros.
I'm just waiting for you to add an NPC that 100% fully dictates Florida man.
So, while you're here, there is gonna be a day where there's a lot of other guests coming and going, but give me a perception etiquette to notice the tension.
Sure. Does Auspics apply?
You can. The base is gonna be 7, but you have how much for Auspex? 5?
5.
Okay, reduce the difficulty to 5. Because you could be picking up hostile vibes from them very easily as well.
Style vibes. Sounds about right. That should be it. Okay. I have attentive as perception and high society as etiquette, so
Yeah. You know, you have like a guide, like a lady of the court that's showing you what's what, and there's just like elves are supernaturally incapable of fucking up etiquette and politics wise, but you can read just when this group comes in, it's like, oh fuck. Yes, let's go over there, my dear sir. And it takes you about half an hour to figure out what the fuck is up. That's one of the werewolf elders trying to woo the local king into aiding the crusade.
Yes. Bless.
If you wish, you can have a face-to-face meeting with her under controlled circumstances, surrounded by the other courtiers, and exchange some words.
I don't know. I think personally that would like I've been already sort of making my presence sort of aware here with the other changelings. I think that noticing the tenseness in the room, I think it's actually a worse idea, and it could like, trying to pick any kind of conflict.
No,
So
it's
I'm
not
not.
so much that they're. It's it's kind of that anxiety, like, are our guests gonna be upset? And let's hope they don't try to kill each other, rather than they're not insulted and they're not upset. Like, if you can avoid, initiating anything, you can talk to her just fine. It's more a question of like, is there gonna be a scandal kind of thing, or
Yeah, that's exactly sort of the thing that I want to sort of avoid, and just even though shouldn't be no conflict, I still want to avoid. Essentially, I'm not going to try and fully avoid, but it's more like I'm not going to approach them, but only if they approach me, then I'll react. I'm
mm-hmm.
trying to be on a reactive side here, not proactive. Don't
Yeah.
want to start anything on my own accord, essentially.
Okay. Well, then you are essentially the way it works. What you pick up is that they have been working on the local changelings for a while, but they're not really interested in joining the war, and she's keeping lines of communication open and continuing to chip. Let me finish, and then you can check. And chip away at that resistance, trying to. Well, if things change, and if there's the opportunity to claim some of the other places of power, maybe, or some of their resources, they're. Like, she doesn't expect them to help them break you so much as offering them the opportunity to help clean up afterwards, at least.
Bless. I was going to ask, with my high perception and aspects as well. Do I see any ring that resemble that fucker's on his fingers?
What ring? Remind me.
The wood
The
one.
one that stopped the Rhine reading.
The wood one thing. The one that
Yes.
stopped reading.
Ah.
Well, made him learn that he would be mind read.
Doesn't appear to be the case, no.
Okay. I'll just keep an eye on as well to see if, since there might be things that might be similar, like it doesn't have to be a ring, it could be an amulet or the like. Just sort
Yeah,
of.
no. Like, you were warned that this isn't like a vampire court, and that it's like if you use any kind of magic in here and they catch you, it's like you drew a sword in the presence of the king kind of thing.
Yeah, I presume so. It's much easier to catch here, but got it.
So you could try, but if you get caught, it's gonna be bad, essentially.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it then.
Okay, bye, don't come back. Okay. Then I think we can get to the tracking down the information part. Give me a manipulation politics roll.
Okay, I got 7 dice on that, and yes, I love willpower, but let's not this time. Difficulty?
You have been doing very well so far, but we're gonna make it a 6, and some of that exceptional success will go towards earning their goodwill and making them less likely to help the werewolves, because you're apparently people that are civilized.
It really hurts me because, like, on one point, I could botch, but like my willpower is already at 3, and I want to kill myself. No, this is important information. I'm gonna do it. So, 7 dice difficulty 6. Let's go. That should be 3, and manipulation. I have persuasive as a specialty.
Okay. So you have 4. Okay. You're going to have to spend some time arranging for your contacts back in England to help them acquire some art pieces. But you are able to discover the mage's name. He is apparently originally from immigrants from Siberia, as in a second generation Siberian. And
Whack.
I know, they had to look really far to find one. His family is from up north, so he's somewhere near New York. And let's see, let me just open his sheet. I can actually give you his... Yeah, he is of the tradition of dream speakers, which involve a lot of native shaman groups. So he follows the teachings of Siberian shamans, essentially, which is probably why he was willing to work with werewolves. Based on what his skills are, he apparently is like a healer and a spirit talker, and probably has been doing the mage stuff for like 2 decades now, so he's not a complete noob. He probably has a bunch of other lesser skills. And generally you know where he lives. One of his parents is old but still alive. You could try and get to him through that. You essentially have enough information to try and come at him from the other side.
Besides the whole parents thing, am I able to glean any information that may be present in New Orleans? Because I mean, like besides, presumably he sleeps at the cairn, but like just if they maybe know anything more about localized rather than his external facts.
No, they wouldn't be able to. If you had contacts in his actual tradition or the tradition mage in general, you might be able to get to that, but it's not gonna filter back that quickly or easily, even with 4 successes, because, well, this is dangerous shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, you are. Yeah, like, oh hey, a year ago he went off with the werewolves.
Coolio.
But, yeah, you would know that there's at least one case where he broke a ward over a weak node, but that one wasn't being actively maintained and the node was nearly dead.
Okay. That still gleans a lot of information about his potential powers. So breaking through William's node might not be will probably be difficult as fuck, but theoretically, since we don't know his extent, it could be possible.
Okay. Out of character, in terms of mages, he's essentially at the Ancilla range of XP.
Okay.
So they found they found a mid-tier mage that was willing to help them.
Out of character, have I mentioned that I hate mages?
I think it might have come up at some point. Okay, and that's what you can gather in a week.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. No, that's good.
Okay, and now, Demi, roll willpower at difficulty 8 to retain the memories.
Ah, fuck.
You're in a freehold surrounded by changelings. The mists are gonna fuck you.
Yeah. Is it permanent or temporary?
Permanent, but you can spend willpower on this.
Fuck, I'd be on 1 willpower. Not this shit again. No, I'm just going to
I'm gonna lose it all.
Don't fail, then Demi, just don't fail.
Okay, fine, I'll spend a willpower. What's the difficulty?
8.
Oh yeah, 8.
And that's me being generous.
Oh, willpower spent. Yeah, good. Not a botch now. Not a botch.
Yeah,
Now,
your
if that
goal
would-
is when you step out, like standing next to you. So, Master, are we ready to go?
So let's just go back fucking home and hopefully the memories come back. I fucking hate this.
Give me an intelligence. What would be appropriate? Give me an intelligence awareness roll to see if you can use that to try and write down as much of it as possible before you lose it.
Difficult for this?
We're gonna go with 6. Because the bits that fade, you can feel them fading.
Nope.
You just find, had a lovely evening, and then next line, I can't dance, but they seem to realize this. Why were there dogs there? Were they going hunting? I can't remember.
Fucking bless.
So, with 1 success, you remember, but it's like a
as
dream. And it's
Yeah.
like the order in which things happened are jumbled, essentially. So you're going to remember the general abilities of the mage and his power, but you're going to have a tough time remembering the specifics like phone numbers, address, actual name, that kind of thing.
Yep. Okie dokie then.
Okay. So, I have a question for Jackalor. Are you actually gonna try and play through mobile, or are you here to listen in?
Mostly listen.
Okay, fair enough. So, gentlemen, Gator Wranglers, how are you doing? We had an... remind me, where did you each leave off? I think Nyaxi visited Elysium was the last thing you did, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and then you had a chat with Wald and she warned you not to fuck up. Bacon.
I don't remember what I was doing, only that alligator, and I was catching them.
Okay. Then, we're gonna pick up with Bacon. It is a new night, day 8, and you are looking at the burnt out husks of the machines that self-destructed. Little bloody tear rolling down your eye.
Yeah, the machine exploded. It's any of the people responsible for it nearby?
Not vampires, but there's a bunch of ghouls you don't recognize in, identical black suits.
Yeah, I just go to them. Oluwase, my name is on the list.
Pull out a list, check. One of them is looking at you like, The other one pulls out a radio. Hey, there's an Oluwase here. He's on the list, but can you call one of the bosses? Yeah, thanks. Can have to wait a few minutes, sir. Security, I'm sure you understand.
Perfectly fine.
Okay. Couple minutes later, they radio back. Ask him what he asked for in the last council meeting. You hear that. The guys just look at you.
I asked for more alligator rides.
Radio's back. You get that? Yeah, he's good. Let him in. And they let you up. Security for this building has been taken over by newly arrived ghouls from Houston.
Oh, nice. I'm not aware how Houston works, so they have decent ghouls.
Yeah, it looks like there's 6 or 8 ghouls here that have been sent as like the first set of reinforcements. Now that New Orleans calls for aid for a change. The beacons are lit. New Orleans calls for aid. The werewolves have started killing.
Yeah, I don't think how much aid is going to come. Other cities were fucked.
Well, they were fucked, but if you have 3 cities helping you, it's gonna be enough to be felt. Even if they're just, sending a few guys here and there.
Yeah, I just go inside, check with the people there who is currently working on the
There's no one
burnt
currently
husks.
working, but essentially, when you go up, there's a message from Kurt that essentially says, "Hey, feel free to dig through the trash, see if you can figure anything out." We haven't decided where to put them, but essentially, keeping them here for the moment until they're moved. Feel free to dig through this.
Okay, what I understood is feel free to loot everything and put on your sewer.
It's not exactly how it was meant, probably, but you can interpret it that way.
Just start checking everything to see if anything salvageable is there.
Okay. Then, give me a perception technology roll. If you're looking for salvage specifically.
Would my aspects help in any way?
Yeah. Sure, you can reduce difficulty to... let's go with 4, because if you're just heightening your eyesight, because you're trying to figure out which pieces are burnt and which not. Essentially, you have like 6 or 7 computers. You're seeing if you can assemble 1 or 2 working ones from what's left. Okay. Yeah, you go through it, open up each of them, check the machines. You would have to actually, disassemble them and assemble them, but you think that 1 or 2 working ones could be made. So in theory, you could build a working computer out of the pieces that aren't burned. You might need to get a new memory module or pull the memory modules apart to make one working one, because those were the worst hit.
Okay. I would just ask for a box to one of the ghouls.
Okay, why?
I want to separate the working materials from the burned trash.
Okay, fair enough, but I'm not supposed to let you take anything out of the building without the prince's say so.
Okay.
Yet they just bring you some cardboard boxes.
I need to reread what obfuscate do when you have too much of it. But could I just go invisible carrying boxes?
No, they're too big. Sorry. What you could do is start putting things in your pockets and just take multiple trips outside.
Nah, let's not get more into Prince's bad side. I'm trying to be helpful because my clan is doing nothing.
Okay.
Grab everything. and I'll try to get in contact with the prince.
Okay, yeah, you can call him. He picks up on the other side. Hello?
Oh, it's me. I just was checking the burnt stuff. I managed to salvage enough to maybe have one or two computers working. Still need some extra parts, but where do you want me to put them? Or do you allow me to just put them on my sewer or the safe?
Okay, so here's what I want, right? I want you to pull whatever information you can that's left in the machine out. If you can do that, how many can you assemble? Just one?
Possibly two.
Okay, so you get as much information out of there, and you can make one, and the rest of the parts that are good, well, might just give them to the Tremere.
Okay, fair enough.
But you get me my information, you assemble like the first one goes to you. Fair enough?
Completely.
Okay, good.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Roll Auspec's Danger Sense. That's 7.
I don't like this.
I'm sure you don't. Okay, you're in danger. You hear faintly from the other room, just heels snapping together. Yes, ma'am. At once, ma'am. Removing myself from premises, ma'am.
I just grabbed the boxes. Is there any windows?
Yeah, there are windows. You can grab 2 boxes, but won't be enough to assemble computer. They're like you can grab the memory module box and try and yeet out a window.
I just rushed to the window. Is there any trash stuff under it? Like a trash can or something?
Roll luck to see whether it exits to an appropriate. It exits to an alley. There isn't a trash can under it. There is a dumpster, like little ways over. You could try and get the box into the dumpster. It would require a Dex Athletics check at 7.
Do I have Dex Athletics? Oh, I have Dex. Lots of Dex. And some Athletics. Yeah, I'm just going to try to throw the memory module box. So 7 dice at 8.
Yes, 7 dice at 8.
And my last usable willpower point, because I can't fail on this. The city is counting on me.
Okay. It spills out into the dumpster, but you get it in.
Okay.
And you hear someone just clear their throat behind you, like, as you're standing at the open window. Leaving us?
Ah,
You turn around and you recognize someone that captured you once upon a time.
wait a second. The mages. I'm thinking it is. I don't have enough memory in real life. But yeah, I think I remember this one.
Well, the one at the front, is holding what looks like a contraption that looks vaguely like a gun with a little radar dish at the front, and she's pointing it at your head.
Oh, fuck, not again.
She's gonna
I
call
re-
back, like, Sabrina, what are our orders again? Recover and analyze the hardware. See? We're not after you. You tell us everything you know about this stuff, and we might even let you go.
Okay. Let's be fair. I actually can help if you just stop trying to kidnap me and stuff like that. Being
Have I kidnapped you yet? I haven't kidnapped you yet. Have we kidnapped him, ladies? No, we haven't kidnapped him. He's completely free, and we've been talking for like a minute now.
yeah.
They're all wearing, by the way, power armor.
Fuck.
There's like vaguely uniform-like stuff drawn over it, but you can see just like the gleaming metal on their hands, and like where the helmets can fold up over their faces. They're decked out for a situation if need be. Come on, sit down. Let's talk.
Okay. I sit with them. Very.
It's probably like a level 2 mind effect to detect if someone is being honest, since that's just an emotional state. So that is like, yeah, she's gonna pull out a PDA, extend like an antenna towards you, and just start inputting numbers into it.
What's this?
Well, she's at least put the gun away. Nothing, a precaution.
Sure.
Any other of your kind here?
No.
And what's your name?
Oluwase.
Okay. Under what circumstances did we originally meet?
I was walking around. You started following me with some weird apparatus. I tried to run away.
Okay, looks like it's calibrated. We can start now. So tell us about the machine. How did you make it?
Wait, what?
How did you make this machine?
Oh,
They don't know, Bacon. They just felt the explosion, Bacon.
oh. His mind is just starting to burn. How to play this politically? I have to try it. One question. Just to know what the situation I am in. Would you guys be happy with the people that made the machine, or you want to kidnap them again?
We haven't analyzed the machine yet in detail. Can't tell you. That translates to, I know, depends on how tech heresy it is.
Okay.
The answer is very.
Let's make a deal, okay? I can
Listening.
tell you a lot about the machine and how it was made. But I will need your guys' help in something that I think we may agree on.
I don't have the authority to commit the technocracy to a blank check. You're gonna have to be more specific.
we didn't make the machine. I tell about it to help us against people.
What kind of help against the people that made it?
I mean, if you just want to completely decimate them from this planet, I would appreciate, but any kind of help would be good.
Okay. I think my superior would approve of this in general terms. But it will depend heavily on just how much information you have and how aligned with or against our interests the other group is.
Okay. So the machine was made by werewolves.
Doesn't react. Maybe blinks once, that's it. Stone-faced bitch.
It's some crazy machine that is on the city grid and is using, I think they said it was a river spirit to watch everything and know everything that is going on the city. The spirit was focused on my people, but because they aren't in good term with us. But even when we locked the place and had the control to the manual access to the machine, they managed to speak with the spirits somehow and tell them to self-destruct.
Okay.
The spirits were very active. You probably could hear them speaking, or at least with some of your fancy machine sensors, you could probably detect them acting.
Jenny, check for, one of them just starts pulling out pieces of metal from various pockets and assembling something.
Yeah, you needed to understand their language. It was Kobo, to be able to hear them speaking.
You see her stop for a second, remove one piece, pull out another set of attachments, run a wire to her ear, put in an earpiece as well. And she essentially, it's like a metal sort of circle with piece of metal going inwards and like a glass lens. And she is gonna attempt to enact a Spirit 1 effect. Did Affinity Spheres give you a -1 to the difficulty of casting, Naxi?
No, I think they only make the sphere cheaper.
Yeah, it only made it feel cheaper.
Okay. Yeah, she... Okay, continue. As Jenny starts using her newly made magnifying glass and listening device to go over the pieces. You can hear it start to crackle like a Geiger counter at times, like at that point just going wee.
Yeah, the machine apparently took lots of time for them to build, and it was built in some sort of ritualistic way. The specialists were commenting on how it was built in some sort of web format with the wires to try to represent the river or some bullshit like that.
One of the others just curses like fucking reality deviants. Yeah, Jenny finds the incense. The machine just starts to immediately crackle and quickly goes into a straight down. The little red light starts flashing. Miss Flores, I think we're gonna need a cleanup crew here.
One of our guys tried to access the machine. He had some knowledge about werewolves, and his way of doing it was trying to copy some weird rituals they would do, like burning wires and stuff. And the machine just shocked him because I don't know, maybe only a werewolf can do their rituals.
I see.
Apparently, he was sent flying. It was very amusing.
Okay. Are you gonna be completely honest and open with them?
Um,
As in on all the technical details and the like that you've gleaned about the machine, are you trying to keep anything back?
No, I'm just saying everything. I just look at their technology and like I'm not giving any big secret that they wouldn't know after just stealing everything and examining for a while.
Okay. Give me an intelligence computers roll, please. At 6. To see... Yeah, no, I think intelligence computers is appropriate to see how much you can explain to them in a way that will be useful to them. Okay. After about an hour and a half of this, with Jenny going over the stuff herself, she's gonna actually put her device away, stand up. Well, you have been most helpful. Your cooperation has been noted and the technocracy is grateful. We'll contact you if we need more information.
So, very good. Can I run away now?
Yes, by all means, you may depart.
I just look at the boxes.
I'm sorry, that's staying with us. But what you can do is try and claim the memory modules downstairs. Because
Just a second, let me raise my volume.
what you can do is try and claim the memory modules that you tossed downstairs, because she didn't specifically ask if you had moved or hidden any pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I will try to do that. I just wanted to see if I could get actually something from here.
No,
Yeah.
one of them has started just like gluing little labels to the pieces and making handwritten notes. And there's like a scale in red marker, like from 1 to 10, how irradiated it is.
Yeah, he just looks with a sad face to the pieces. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave.
Okay. Yeah. You go, pick up the memory modules, go away. Parking lot nearby, you see 8 ghouls just sitting on like 2 cars, discussing if they can go back, and just going, no, we have orders, we have to stay away.
Pathetic. Wolfgang would never let this happen.
Okay. Meanwhile, Nyaxi,
Yeah.
on night 8, what do you wish to do? You have a pretty open agenda.
I think I'm going to hunt it, and I'm going to find some more ravens to ghoul, since the prince allowed me to do that.
Okay. For ravens, you probably want the city park, funnily enough, because that is the place where you're most likely to run into ones, because that's where they are gonna get fed or can steal food most easily.
Oh.
So feel free to go ahead and hunt. Where are you hunting? The park.
Not in the park.
Okay.
Let's see, I have obfuscate. Yeah, I'll just stay in clan domain, but not in a park.
Okay, that has actually been deleted for some reason, which is wrong. Fairgrounds are still Gangrel Clay. Though that one has been... So you would have to go around to Navarre, because the hunting in the swamps would be dangerous as well, probably, because werewolves are culling the gator population there now that they've realized that someone is stealing them.
Very well. How does with stealth sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Do you want to voluntarily increase it to be more cautious?
Huh. Maybe by 1.
Okay. Then go ahead and make a roll at 7.
My wit specialty is cunning.
Okay. I'll let you have that. So you get 2. And give me a luck roll. Okay. You're not disturbed.
Oof, good.
Okay, and then you need to lure in and cage some ravens. Because you need 3 knights.
Yep.
Okay, you have 2 ways you can go about it. You can either try and find one or multiples and lure them in more quietly and carefully using only animalism 1. God damn, that's shining on my face. Or you can actually call them up if you have animalism 2, but that's more dangerous. Obviously, because you're making noise.
Yeah, I guess I'll go careful for now.
Okay, then give me a perception survival roll. At a 6 to see if you can, or how many you find and how. Okay. Yeah, you find a little place where apparently they go to sleep. There's a whole murder of crows there, or what is it with ravens? Either way, there's a whole flock of those fuckers. Seem to
Yay,
be
pretty
mostly
good luck.
asleep. So, give me a manipulation animal can to see how well you can lure them in.
At 6?
At 6, yeah.
It's an unkindness of Raven.
It's fucked up, Jackal.
Oof.
Okay. You're like the bird man. There's like 8 of them on your hands, just like caw, 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 caw. As you start walking away covered in ravens. Food, 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 give food, food.
That's great.
Okay, where do you take them? I don't think you have a set residence where you can just lock them up. But there is the hole in the sewers where they're keeping the gators they're currently ghouling.
Huh.
Two of those ravens are Korak Skinfolk, you're so dead.
I mean, I don't need all 8, I only need 6.
Okay, so you're gonna roll dice to see which die, or are you just gonna have them fight it out?
I mean, I will just let I mean, I'm still gonna feed other two normally and just let them go afterwards or something.
Okay.
I might need them in the future after all. Let's see, I could go to the sewer thing. Yeah, why not?
Make me a luck roll, by the way. Naxi, luck roll, please.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, there, now it went through. Okay. You just see a pair of low-set eyes, like from a large animal, at when you are already walking on the street among people covered in ravens with a spear and an eye patch, just watching you from there, giving you the look.
Oh, what kind of animal?
Give me a perception animal, Ken.
Does he have increased difficulty or whatever from his only eye?
I mean, I assume.
How much does the eye increase it on sight? By
Let's
2?
see, I think it's +2.
Okay, then roll at 7, please. Yeah, you're pretty sure that's a direwolf. They're supposed to be extinct.
Oh.
Stab it in.
Second set of eyes. Pushes in next to the first. Narrows as well.
Oh.
You could try and chuck the spear, but at that point, that's gonna be a furball. This might not seem like it, but I am slowly considering time to be continuing as you think.
Let's just keep walking for now. Maybe not towards the sewer thing, though.
Okay, you keep walking. Okay, you detect no signs of pursuit. Presumably you're safe.
Maybe I should just ask Sven to hold onto the ravens for me.
So we're gonna put 2 symbols above the park because it's contested ground nowadays. Okay. Sven gives you a look like I have, for along lines of like I have a 1-room apartment. Where am I gonna keep them?
Tell him it's only for a few nights.
Okay, he's gonna lock them in the bathroom.
Fair.
Riddimer says you should have shouted IMO then at them.
But that would have maybe scared away the birds.
It probably would have, yeah.
And I need those.
Do you really though?
Yes.
Alright. So, you have disposed of them. Where to next?
To Elysium, I think.
Okay. Let me... How friendly have you been with Walda Demi over the past 3 years? Because she has definitely been very friendly on her side. You're, can't hear you, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a push talk. She is considered actually as one of my ratings and my allies, so presumably I've had interactions with her.
Okay. How much of an impression that she can get away with shit with you have you given her?
There have been obviously set boundaries, essentially.
Okay.
Like, you know, like, hey, some of you may have found it funny to throw shit at my Elysium, but we're not going to do that.
Let's see. Yeah, no, she couldn't get it anymore. Well, actually, she's very close with you. Let's make that a 7, I guess. Yeah, okay. So, when you come out of the locked part of Elysium, you know where the changeling fucked up rooms are?
Yeah.
Wald is sort of just leaning against the wall, sitting on the floor, looking bored. By, you know, the locked door on the side she's allowed to be on, waiting.
Good evening, Valda.
Okay, fancy meeting you here. I was just passing by.
Interesting.
Did
well,
you know that you have a wall covered with moss in there? That's, by the way, where the trod opens.
It must have passed me.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I think it's not entirely there. Or it's
But,
somewhere else at the same time.
If I may ask, how were you aware of that?
No comment.
Very well.
I blame the
Well-
gangrel, he made me do it.
Oh, Valda. May I know which gangrel specifically?
The new one, the puppy. You know about
There's
the whole business with Teddy, you've heard by now, so presumably they've adopted a new one.
Yes. I believe I am aware of him. So, may I help you, considering you are waiting here for either me or something specifically?
Well, I'm bored, and I figured, hey, I have my good friend Benjamin, and he's coming back sometime tonight.
I'm glad you're taking your time to.
Did you know that the
about
prince
my
is putting
whereabouts.
your Elysium in danger?
I believe everybody's currently in danger.
Oh, no.
to
This
be
is
fair.
this is not from werewolves.
Go on.
She stands up, leans in. You know the Seed bitch? Not Gregory,
Yes.
or not, no, what was his name? It was Gregory, right? Not the Tremere one,
Yes.
the other one.
Pamela, I believe her name was.
Yeah, Pamela. So you know, she has been bothering the local fairies. Could the fairies have put that wall of moss in there? That's a very fairy thing to do, isn't it?
And I will see about further.
So you know how the prince
inquiry.
can always tell when you lie? He made a dark pact with the Seed in return for a favor. And she's calling it in to hide in your Elysium. From the people who rightfully want to shank her, apparently. You're welcome, buddy. She pats you on the shoulder, starts walking away.
Like Valda has always been weird and always a troublemaker. Could I do a perception empathy to see if that was potentially a joke or even a half truth of sorts?
Yeah, you can roll perception empathy at 6.
Perception is attentive and empathy is emotions.
Yeah, it's... She's more high-strung than Walda usually is. Vivian recently died. No one's keeping Kurt in check, and she might be overcompensating, trying to grab as much influence as she can, as quickly as she can. But she's probably honest about this being a problem. Or it potentially becoming a problem in her opinion.
Very well. In that case, I mean, I'll just lock the door behind, obviously, put the key back to me, and take out my basically my pocket watch. And what time is it? How much until daytime?
Okay. Is the pocket watch something that's been with you for a while?
I mean, it's more of the pocket watch is essentially, I mean, going on the whole thing is like, don't use phones. I need to know the time, right? It's more of a gentleman thing that's been thing. But yes, presumably the pocket watch has been mine.
Mm-hmm. Is more likely. Okay. The pocket watch tells you that it's either 7 p.m. or 7 a.m., which is, you're not on fire, so presumably 7 p.m., but you're only just waking at that time normally.
I'm going to go around where Elysium, where I know we have most likely a sort of a grandfather clock somewhere.
Yeah, you do.
Compare.
Yeah, no, your pocket watch is way off. This is just past midnight now. At some point, time must have gotten fucky in the fairy realms.
Yeah, I'll just quickly rearrange it. And considering the night and everything, I'm going to take sort of the rest of the night a bit focused. Because, I mean, I can feel on myself that I did something, but I'm not quite aware of what the fuck happened, right?
Like, you have a general idea of what you did, but it's kind of dreamlike. So you know you were at court, that like you have an invitation to come back, presumably. You know that, you played music for them, but it's like, was I there for 3 nights? Was I there for 2 weeks? It's fucky.
Yeah, I just want to take then probably a good part of the night, before, like unless something comes up, and essentially just like actually go and continue on the note that I haphazardly fucking did, and just so before, I mean, if it's sort of a dream thing, those things can fade out. So write them as much as I can remember, just so
Yeah, no,
I can get
it's
a clearer
at
picture.
this point it's faded out as much as it's going to. So you write down what you remember. That was to essentially catch the bits that you were gonna forget. The roll you made. So yeah,
Okay.
you finish your note, you write it out. Like you could send someone competent up north near New York to try and track this mage more,
Yeah, closely.
Yeah, because you have at least enough to start an investigation with. But you would presumably have to send a competent Ancilla at the very least to have a real chance of succeeding.
Just because I might be missing more details, because that could be an obvious sign. Would I know of possibly either could Dominate do this or Tremere Ritual to see about anything that
Do you
could
have
possibly see about?
occult?
I have 4 dots of occult.
Okay. Give that to me at 6. Because this is going to be more about...
Intelligence is creative and occult is kindred lore.
Yeah, neither would apply. But you would know the old legends about fairies. About men coming back after a month, like they've aged 30 years. Or not remembering anything about their lives. All the old tales about memory being fucky, time being fucky, like when you go to play with the fairies, it can fuck with you, and apparently that can happen even to vampires.
Yeah, no. Seemingly I experienced that. Well, I guess details are out, but at least I have a general picture of what to do. In that case, yes, since this might have taken me a bit of a while, I'm going to just see about calling Kurt up and perhaps organizing a meeting as hopefully tomorrow, because I believe it's a bit too late for him and a bit maybe too dangerous for him to go out now. So just see about doing something, having a talk to him face to face tomorrow at Elysium if possible.
Well, you are at Elysium, and so is Kurt. The night is just, like, he's there for most of the night.
Okay.
So
Got
you
it.
can just request a meeting right now if you wish.
Then I'll do so.
Okay. So, you meet with Kurt, who is going over some paperwork, funnily enough. And it's probably a sight to behold. This brutal fucker just little
Taxes, how the
glasses on, going through paperwork. This mob boss isn't paying their dues. Break his legs, please.
Taxes, how the fuck do they work?
Secretary, send this to HR.
God fucking. You know, that I just realized that technically, if you're not using any ghouls or things, but putting things on your name, you, even as a fucking 100-year-old vampire, still have to pay the IRS.
Sir, I don't care if you terrorized the Balkans for 200 years. You still owe the IRS $500,000, sir.
God damn it, Kristen. Anyways, I'll just if he just sort of slightly knock on like the side of the door, if it
Yeah,
was
he just
doors
looks up
open,
and motions. Yeah, like, come in.
I'll close the door behind us and step forward. And if there's a place to sit.
Yeah. Oh, this is like the council room he's in. He's just set up a place here. Benjamin, good news. First batch of ghouls arrived from Houston today.
Excellent. How much, if I may know?
12. I sent 4 to keep an eye on the chantry in case more crap happens, and more to guard the machine.
Good. That's excellent news. And as you may notice, I have also returned from my fairy escapades, essentially. I was able to write down some of the important information, but you may or may not be aware, it can be a bit awkward as I've experienced. A good part of my memory has escaped me, unfortunately.
Wait, has it? Vivian said that stuff was bullshit.
No, it's hard to explain really when you're both aware of something but also forgetful. You know you most likely did something, but you have no idea that you did it, essentially. It's peculiar, to say the least. But that has indeed been the case. However, I was able to get some information retained in my head and slightly written down as well. In good news, I have been able to find out a bit more about the mage that has been allied to the wolf.
At this point, he perks up and completely shifts attention to you.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just throw out in the information and just finish up with. And with that being the case, there was something. I believe there was talks and information that he had a relative still existing. I believe it is his father or mother, parent. They're from New York. I believe so. And, well, that might just be our only in, essentially, to this mage, or to dissuade him from allying with the wolves, though it is a ways away.
Right.
In terms of his magical prowess, I will inform the regent, of course, and as he surely has more information on what these specifics might incur.
It's actually not a bad idea. It's his chantry being threatened. Let William worry about tracking this fucker down, and Tremere have their pyramid. Let them use their resource to try and track this fucker down. I think we can get them to foot the bill for this investigation.
I believe that would be quite possible.
Yeah, no, pulls out a sheet of paper, crosses out one line, writes down another one. William, get him to blah 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 blah.
I think you just mentioned that in terms of out of character, the wolves that I encountered, I just remember dogs. How much do I remember of that, if I do at all?
It's kind of disjointed. You remember meeting, like, someone that was an enemy. You're not sure if it was their enemy or yours. You just labeled your brain as enemy, and something about dogs. Thinking through it, yeah, you can put together, well, maybe actually there were werewolves there, but it's kind of jumbled. It was...
Another piece of information, since everything's a bit disjointed, I'm not quite sure when they appeared, or even why, but going through the haziness, I do have not a 100% certainty, but quite a high possibility that there may have been werewolves at this court. I do not remember why. I could only presume that there was some kind of talks or whatever. But I do remember that their presence was most likely present, obviously.
Right. As if we didn't have enough fucking problems, right?
Yes. Well, considering I'm still here, I don't believe they made a scuffle, but I do not remember if I interacted with them. But they were there. And yes, I believe that's most of the information. What it seems that the changelings are at least taking is that I believe that they're still ready to accept me back, if I remember that correctly. And, well, at least it seems, from my perspective, if I can remember anything, that they're either willing to be on, most likely willing to be on neutral grounds so far. So I don't believe that they will present much of an issue. I cannot, of course, speak for the changelings present in this city, but at least we know that that external threat most likely will be neutral.
Okay. Well, what news you might have missed? Let me think about it. Right. William had the smart idea of trying to store up fuel in the chantry, and Leonard fucked up and gave the werewolves an opening, so they blew up by a whole truck of it next to the chantry. There was significant devastation, and rescue workers tried to enter the chantry, and his ghouls started a shootout. So we've been dealing with that, among other things.
And that's quite unfortunate, to say the least.
Well, luckily, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, apparently Vivian's efforts with Walda have at least partially worked because she was actually useful for a change.
Do tell.
Well, she helped clean up the breach. Found the right people, helped organize the whole thing. Spun a cover-up about some sort of gas poisoning and the like, so...
Interesting. But if I may also ask, I'm not aware, but why was the Regent in need of an entire fuel truck?
He was panicking about... there was some concern that the machine could be used to try and punch through the wards using the power lines and... like, I don't know, shunting magic through them or something. So he figured he would cut himself off from the grid completely. But he doesn't have fuel, so even if he has a generator, he can't run it constantly, you know.
Of course. Strange. Were there any casualties? I mean, I presume so.
He, oh, give me a second, leans down, digs around, stands up, goes to one of the couches, pulls out a newspaper that's been stuffed in between the cushions. And there's like a headline that's something, Inferno in New Orleans! Destruction and death!
Of course. Well, I was well, yes, many innocents were harmed. But I was more specifying any casualties on our side, as Leonard, if he fucked up, so to say, is he dead?
No, I didn't kill him, though I was sorely tempted.
Understandable. Well, any other news? Any other werewolf incursions, so to say?
Ah, yes, they destroyed the machine, so that's not a threat anymore. Or they broke it, at least.
The werewolves or the regent?
Presumably the werewolves, but the machine was... the sheriff was there. She said that it started to just light up and print out a bunch of garbage. She didn't get a good look at it, but then it exploded and all, like lightning bolts everywhere, the way she described it.
Well, the regent doesn't have to be paranoid about that now. Though
Yes, just about them being able to do that at a distance while we guarded the place.
Unfortunate. I will ask, of course, around mostly Andrew, but how has the rest of the city been holding up?
Nexi, did you inform Kurt about losing the park, effectively?
I think we did, and he said he would give us reinforcements and that we should think about taking it back somehow.
Okay. Ah, yes, the werewolves have staked a claim to the park, apparently. So obviously that can't be considered Elysium anymore.
Understandable.
And yeah,
there
they
any-
seem to be encouraging the gangrel to stay out. There were some casualties, but...
It's expected, but are there any plans to take it over again, or are we
for
going...
the moment, I'm letting them take point on it, but I'll take a personal interest if they can get their asses off the ground.
I suppose now this...
They've been making an effort. I think they've been gathering gators, so I think they might be trying to, pull a fast one. Oh, speaking of which, he reached down into the bag. Here, another newspaper for. I've started to collect newspapers. And he shows you another headline. But this isn't the first page one. This is like the third page one. Environmental damage to the swamps. Wildlife going crazy, and a picture of a gator that's been ripped open. I think the werewolves figured out they were recruiting these things.
Well, considering the headline, were we able to dish out any casualties upon them? Has that been reported?
I think they were already done by the time that the werewolves moved in.
So I suppose this
It just means they won't be getting any more, and frankly, I'm perfectly fine with that. With how greedy some people have been getting with these.
I mean, we have given them on the previous meeting the ability to up their numbers, so I suppose this equalizes things out a bit. I do have a question, though, and of course, I mean no offense with this, but considering what
Benjamin,
has been,
don't worry about it. You're one of the few competent and sane people in this city, so ask away.
I was primarily going to ask, in a very blunt terms, what are we going to do about this? What's our plan forward if we have one?
Well, right now, we're going to respond to these challenges and counterattack as we are able.
Understandable, but that, of course, is just an idea or the concept. Anything concrete? Where, when, how?
Well, right now, I'm leaving it to the holders of the individual domains to come up with plans, and I'm readying myself to provide reinforcements when they are ready to move themselves. To turn it into overwhelming force. That's the idea right now. Of course, that requires William and... Well, Daniel's competent, but he's kind of waiting for the new Gangrel Elder to get off his ass. Like I said, another couple of days pass without them getting in position to do anything. I'm gonna start doing something myself. But I would like to let them have a stake in this because worked really hard in making this a city where we all work together as a community, despite my misgivings at times.
I understand that. However,
I know, I am aware.
yes. And to not disturb you any longer, I do have only one more question. This is more of a personal thing, as I have at least had this news come about to me. I heard that there may have been something about a certain key acid occur in the city.
Here we go. I knew it was too good to be true. Of course, you have something that's gonna be a headache. Okay.
I simply want this to be resolved in a very reasonable way. I'm not planning to create any more
here's what I want
offenses.
you to do, and here's how I understand. Here's how the understanding is set up. They're gonna try and shank her, I'm sure of it. Now, I'm under obligation to protect her up to a point. And she is a member of this city with the way we've set things up. The moment she's Ash, we have no more obligation. So, the way I understand it, they're just gonna back off if we let them the moment she's dead. So, if she happens to be shanked in Elysium, just make sure that all of your ghouls and servants know that if she happens to die from that point onwards, they're just supposed to back off and let the attackers depart.
And now, if I may be to add a bit on. I've only been informed about the Kiosid. What specific enemy is in play?
The local changeling Barney.
So the locals here, not the changelings yonder.
If they're a feudal structure, it's here's the thing. I can either let them oppose the Kiosid and try and my way out of this without causing a major problem about this, or I can try and push the issue. They see this as a matter of honor. She doesn't want to leave and called in a favor. I kind of have to offer my protection. So the best I can do is protect her as much as anyone else and not pursue the matter if she does get killed.
I understand this entire dealing, and I understand your perspective quite well. And I would be, of course, very much willing to simply go about it this way, for it is the most efficient, sadly cruel way. But I do have moral obligations, and both from a personal and traditional point of view. I will not cater to Miss Pamela if she is outside of Elysium. However, there is an attack inside of Elysium. I am obliged to protect my Elysium.
Of course you are obliged to respond. Simply don't. I'm just letting you know. Once she's dead, that's it. The conflict should end there. Just let them depart. We have an understanding with them. Their beef is with Pamela, and they're gonna try and pick her off with minimum damage from, was the impression I got. So they don't want a war with us, we don't want a war with them. They just want her. Stupid ass.
Very much understandable. If she is dead, let it be so. No feud about that. However, and if she dies outside of Elysium, obviously. I am just informing you of what steps I would take to sort of, at least in some formal way, keep her alive. And that is only if they are to partake upon violence in Elysium.
And that's exactly what I expect, Benjamin. We understand each other, it's fine.
Good. Well, I've had a sort of, funnily enough, busy time, and I feel drained even though I don't remember what I did quite. But have a pleasant rest of the evening, and please do keep a calm head even with all of this occurring.
See an eyebrow twitch. You're telling him to be calm.
I'm just, yeah. Don't let it go over too much. And get up, bow, and leave.
Okay. By this point, I'm gonna say that you have just arrived, Nyaxi.
Okay.
So, is there anyone in particular you wish to speak with?
Are there any gangrel here? Considering our Elysium is kind of occupied at the moment.
Yeah, the coterie. The new kids, the screw-ups that fled here. No one else though.
I see.
Presumably some of the others are still ghouling gators and planning and, you know.
I'll see about using the Elysium's phone to call my primage and ask how the plans are for the counterattack.
Yeah. You call. There's a voice you don't recognize on the other end. Hello?
Hello.
Who is this?
This is Harold.
Okay, Harold, what can I do for you?
Is Daniel, perhaps, available?
I'm sorry, he is currently working a night shift. Can I take a message?
Just tell him I called about our wildlife issues.
Right. Well, I will take that down. Wildlife issues.
Have a pleasant evening.
Found the best, most blessed picture for Olaf. Give me a second, it's uploading. There you go. Okay. So, left a message there. They're doing their things. Olaf should roll a wit survival. See how well he's doing. He's doing very well. Walda is making her rounds meanwhile, talking to people, and I think Andy would be here doing a thing. Let's go with charisma law for this. Okay. Yeah, he's actually gonna approach you as well.
Oh.
He bows.
I also bow
Sir,
a little.
I haven't met before. I serve as the Ventru Primogen in this city. I was wondering if I could ask your opinion on a certain matter.
Oh, very well. I'm always willing to discuss.
So, the issue I'm struggling with currently is we're in a time of war, and a lot of kindred take a very predatory perspective on things. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that seems like it would be the truth.
Now, I'm of the belief that domain is sacrosanct and that the traditions should be obeyed and respected, even in times of war and crisis. In fact, more so than any other time.
Well, yeah, disrespecting another's domain during war is a form of infighting that is certainly not appropriate under the current circumstances.
Yes, well, some people may consider otherwise, but I'm glad you're a person of culture. It's, after all, almost like a form of treason, wouldn't you say? At a time like this, infringing on established domains and spheres of interest.
Oh, yeah, you could say it's like during war invading your neighbor's fiefdom.
really just risks weakening the city at the most crucial time.
Yeah, it's certainly a move that shouldn't be allowed. And might even deserve harsh punishment.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything specifically, but you just see him continuing to talk with people and make small talk along the lines, laying the groundwork for hanging Leonard, essentially.
Oof.
As long as it's just a hanging.
It's probably gonna be a blood hunting, given that he's pissed Kurt off 2 times already before this.
His funeral.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting, though, that there's something like that occurring. I wonder who's the offending party.
I mean, you've been around Ventru long enough, and Andy is still a bit green, so he's following the standard model. He's setting up someone to be fucked, most likely.
Yeah, huh. Alright, isn't Walda in Elysium?
Yeah, she is.
Let's see if she is not busy.
She's busying herself, but when she sees that you are, hanging around and essentially making, well, not eyes, an eye at her, she's gonna head to you next. Harold, how are you doing?
Pretty well. I just heard that Ventru has some contention with another kindred of the city. He seems to be quite eager to retaliate.
Yeah, that's one word to use about the Ventru here. They're very eager. Batshit crazy would be actually potentially more appropriate, and they don't come to good ends. His sire betrayed the city, I hear.
Oh,
Or
let's.
I mean, people say something was done to him and he just lost it. But I don't fucking believe it. Vivian fucked up people who deserved it.
Oh,
She was really kind and soft-hearted for an elder. And if she wanted you fucked up, she had a good reason.
yeah, I think I've only seen her when I originally came here.
Waldo has a different view, okay? I mean,
Nevertheless, I wonder who the poor devil is that threw the Ventru's ire.
you could go and ask him.
He didn't seem too eager on sharing that yet. I think he's just setting him up for his demise at the moment.
But I want to know. Okay, so
Well, I mean, how likely is it the Ventru found out himself?
just go.
He seems kind of green behind his ears.
I mean a little, but it's actually moderately competent. You know what? I think I'm gonna try and find out. She's gonna try and draw it out with charisma expression, which she's very good at, but the base difficulty is 8. And then he's gonna oppose with willpower, let's say. Oh boy. Yeah, well, that's gonna come back with a big grin on her face.
Oh, I presume that means you found out.
This is too fucking good. It's absolutely beautiful. I
Oh?
couldn't have imagined a more perfect moment if I had tried. A lot of people look at you. She bursts out laughing. Tears in her eyes, like.
Oh, it seems to greatly amuse you.
So Benjamin, as you hobble out of the meeting, you see Walda just whole room staring at her, with little bloody tear rolling down her face, laughing her face off, standing next to Mr. Odin.
Right. Well, I'm just going to be doing my job essentially for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm. Think it's time Leonard rolled danger sense. Because he's in danger!
Oh, after I go to my silver lefty parts, I will rush to Elysium to talk with the prince.
Okay, it's gonna spend a good bit of the night disassembling and talking, so you're gonna be there towards the morning then. A rival primogen is plotting your downfall, so now there's 2 rival primogens, so let's call it difficulty 8. Something isn't right. I'm in danger. Well, when she notices that Benjamin is there as well, just starts trying to stop herself laughing. Takes her a few seconds. Wipes her face, smears blood all over her cheek.
Man, I need a fucking hired butler. I swear to God.
You have one in theory. But you don't have one for Elysium, you have a personal one.
Exactly.
Listen, I would love to tell you, but do you ever feel like the whole room is watching you?
Oh yeah, I can understand that. Well, I'll find out eventually.
Listen. Leans in. Do you trust me?
Of course.
Okay. What's your reputation with the Tremere? Do you have a pattern of
He burns books.
Okay, I have 2 minuses with Clan Tremere.
oof? Alright, Waldo doesn't actually have politics, she's just super likable. Okay. Okay. Listen. Take me out for a date and I'll tell you. You're gonna love this.
Very well.
She just stands there expectantly with a "Yes, my dear gentleman" kind of smile on her face. Elysium is still watching.
Then I'll bow a little and offer her my hand and say like, well then, follow me, my lady.
I'm scandalized. I'm a good girl. Let's go. They head for the door. Funnily enough, Benjamin, she doesn't do it too often, but this is like the 6th time she's made a scene during the last couple of years.
Well, at least as long as she's not harming anybody, technically it falls under. She's allowed to do it by Elysium rules.
I mean, she's Harpy. She's supposed to be the center of attention, in a way.
Exactly.
Okay. You can make me a perception empathy roll, Demi. At
Okay.
6 on Walda.
Attentive and emotions.
3 successes. Yeah, you didn't like the look she gave you and how hard she tried to stop laughing there. You have a feeling this might not be necessarily good for you, what she's doing right now.
Good to know. Besides, side note, just to know, as I enter Elysium, since I've been gone for like a week essentially, any new faces?
Not particularly, well, you probably haven't seen them in Elysium beyond, like, getting pictures of them, but there's 3 gangrel here who are supposedly a coterie.
Fair enough. Then, I just basically do a quick introduction, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will happily try to strike up a discussion about art and modern music and the direction it's taking.
Music, you say, kids, eh? No. On that note, I'm probably going to not accidentally go into a lengthy discussion to see what the new generation likes.
Yeah, they like rock and roll.
Nice. Fun fact. I do remember listening to Elvis Presley a while ago, like 4 years ago. So I'm okay with this.
Mm-hmm. Like, they don't have a drummer anymore, so they can't play currently. Because the sheriff in the last city was a dick. But,
My condolences.
you know,
But
toward the end of the night when Bacon arrives, they'll have gotten to the point where they are, you know, playing some of the slower songs that you can get away without a drummer in Elysium.
nice. I like these people.
Just scrounged up some instruments and doing their thing.
Nice.
Bacon, you arrive at Elysium. You wanted to chat with the prince.
Yeah, I just go to his door to see if he's available.
Yeah, he's leaning back in the chair, eyes closed, just paper scattered in front of him.
I just knock on the door.
Eyes open. You just see fuck again looking on his face.
Uh, so, my friends, I have news. One bad news and
Canadian,
one
close the doors.
Okay. I just then close. I sit. So, want to hear the bad first?
You know what? You choose the order. Surprise me.
Okay, let's do both at the same time. Um, well, after I called you, the crazy technocracy mages appeared.
You see his face just go. You know, just that. Fuck.
I managed to grab the boxes with all the memories of the computers and just throw through the window. They didn't see it. I managed to salvage that part. But they were wearing very menacing, sophisticated armor and asked me to speak about the machine. I think that they don't like what the werewolves did. I talked about what happened to them, and maybe they will help us.
Okay.
But they took out the parts that I couldn't hide.
Okay. Good job on hiding the memory. It's very smart. I appreciate that. Make sure that they know that if you end up in contact with them again, that they need to talk to me if they want any sort of agreement with us. And be careful. These are dangerous fucks.
Oh, I know. I still have some nightmares on what happened in that place. Okay, I just managed to secure everything on my place and I cheered of what happened.
Here's the bad news, Bacon. You're gonna need a computer in order to try and get to that memory. You need a working machine.
I have money. I can buy one.
How much do you have? They're like 65,000 of or something like that of $65. They're expensive as fuck. They're like half a million in modern currency.
I have 4 resources.
So you could afford it, but you couldn't make another major purchase for this arc most likely, because that's a big one.
Maybe I will have to talk with the Tremere. Disgusting.
And you could ask the prince. He might finance this purchase. Maybe.
So, my prince, I kind of need a computer to try to look into the memories. You could either help me to fund it, or I could ask the Tremere what you prefer.
You know what, fuck William. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Let me check how rich Kurt is. He's either at 5 or 6, I think. That's gonna matter a lot. I think he's at 5. Yeah, he's at 5. Okay. Here's the thing. We're still going through Vivian's stuff. Once I've claimed what I allowed her to keep while she was alive, we'll we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, figure out exactly what you need and get me a shopping list.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you, my prince.
Kurt once
And I will
half
just-
on that factory. It's his by right now. He's the master of the city.
I will just leave. Huh. It didn't rage and kill me. I think I did a good job.
You know, the fact that you thought quickly enough to save the memory and kind of immediately throw that in there, that's like, okay, no, you did the best you could, you did good.
Um, yeah, he's just going back to his place.
Okay. Okay, so next important question. Where do you take Waldo for your date?
To the park.
No, not to the park.
Play
To the
hide and
Marcus?
seek. Play hide and seek with her.
Oh, that's actually a good question. Huh?
Take her to a library. I heard she likes books.
But I don't have access to that chantry.
You could ask.
I don't have a good reputation, I'm afraid.
Perhaps not.
Also, Walda, I don't think has a good relationship with the Tremere.
I don't just give Maccabees near my books.
Oh, we could go to one of the bars, because there I was at one of them before, thanks to her.
So like the places where changelings hang out?
Yeah, why not? They seem appropriate.
Am I gonna regret opening this? I mean, 7 or 8 is about what elders usually gets.
Yeah, only elders.
Yeah.
I cry.
So, you go over there, and yeah, you listen to the music. Let's see how likely. Okay, he's not playing that night. So you settle in, order some drinks. Your clan doesn't like the local Tremere, do they?
I got the impression they don't.
How do you feel about them?
We had some, we had some qualms back in Europe.
So, you're gonna love this. You're gonna fucking love this. It's the Tremere Primogen. He's been poaching Andy shit. And the prince already hates him.
Oh, right, was he the one of the gas truck?
Yes, yes he was.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh. So like if you could like lean on Daniel or something to make sure that he's properly outraged at the council meeting, not just sitting there like a vegetable like he usually does, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll have a talk with him. I imagine he'll also find this quite elating.
So it's just ooh. I mean, honestly, these fucks, they just, from what I've learned, they send the ones even the Tremere can't stomach to this city.
I guess it explains this.
Ooh, that is special. And she's gonna start telling you stories about Tremere fuck-ups and times they've been embarrassed. She also has a performance merit to lower difficulty, so that's 7 successes.
Oof.
The standard procedure, one with Archie's one first she tells you.
God. I remember them being a bit difficult to deal with if you try to pry the secrets from them, but not quite like this.
Give me a perception alertness roll.
Okay, how much does it depend on my eyesight?
Actually, make me a wits alertness roll. This is more about whether you register something she says in passing, kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, you catch hints of it. Like, she sees the Ventru in a similar light to the Tremere about being uppity, greedy fucks that try to claim everything and need a good car bombing on occasion. And you don't get the car bombing story, but you get hints that she's made moves about people of this kind in the past, but she considers Andy to be in the right here.
That's good to know.
Okay, so yeah, you have it's exaggerated, but you have a general picture of just how fucked up the Tremere can be in this city. It's funny, it's not even necessarily that bad compared to how much they fuck up in other cities. It's just that they had a very bad first impression and it stuck with a lot of people, even when they dialed it back to the normal levels later.
Oh, God bless.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to do before the night finishes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm gonna probably meet with my Primogen tomorrow night, though.
Okay. So, this is where we're gonna start making some rolls.
Oh boy, somebody's getting killed tonight.
Oh no, this is so much worse. So, what would be appropriate here? I think manipulation rituals. Okay. So, you don't have Auspex, do you, Nyaxi?
No.
Okay. So, everyone can roll perception awareness at 9. If you have Auspex, that is reduced to a 7.
No matter the level of aspects.
Yeah, because this is just heightened sense helping.
Is this everywhere or just people?
Actually, it mostly everywhere except for you. You can roll at 6 because you are extremely close to where this is being done.
Okay, it was perception awareness.
Yes.
6. Yay.
Okay. Both of you pick up that something feels different about this night. You, Demi, especially with attentive, there's an almost electrical quality in the air, like some kind of tension is building slowly.
When you mean that, do you mean actually electric, or is that just a metaphor?
It feels electric, as in charged.
Well,
You don't see outlets sparking yet, if that's what you're asking.
no, it's just like, I was just gonna be like, better call up the region. Wait, calling requires electricity.
Oh yes, let me call. Bzzzt, ah!
I'm going to have notify Samuel and have him notify all the ghouls that are on this shift. Just be a bit more attentive and be careful around anything electrical.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming you informed them to, if Pamela gets shanked off, or like a chance to retreat to whoever did it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if she gets attacked in Elysium, we're fucking up the guy who attacks her.
And, okay. And after the fact, keep fighting?
Like if she dies?
Yeah,
Damn, that's a good question.
because Kurt suggested that you don't, because that's the best way to de-escalate.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, no. Yeah, at that point, yes.
Okay, so the librarian who actually understands weather magics is suddenly growing very concerned when she wakes.
Wait. Oh no, is the storm coming? It's
They've
coming.
started summoning the storm. They have a water node. They're gonna start harnessing its power. Right now there's a rank 5 the urge chanting in the middle of that node.
I mean, I already talked with the technocracy. I just hope that they see that the werewolves are a big problem and just use the orbital laser to strike them.
I'm sorry, those are just starting construction right now. The prototype will be ready for firing in a year and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to hold for a while.
Actually,
By the way, I just have a question. And this might only happen because I'm from England. I don't know. But have I ever felt this before? Like, big storms arriving.
roll an intelligence occult for me. At a let's go with 6. No, England is just, as far as you know, fucked. Nature hates it.
As it all be. That's why we colonized.
Okay, Alexandra is actually gonna make an intelligence occult roll as well. And she is gonna use her library, which is specialized in weather magic. Just bites her fist and silently screams. Okay. So, given that vampires are supernatural, there's gonna be a lot of people that are able to feel at least some of this. After all, 3 Auspex clans. So yeah. Okay. I think we should take a break here and split it in half so we can take a moment. Take care of anything we need to.
I'm not sure why you need to half the video anyways. It's not like it's going to help you post your backlog faster.
Listen, I'm gonna post this by Christmas. If not this one, then next.